Oedipus realized that his daughter's relationship with Tom, along with his own determination, created a chance to challenge the racial biases. However, the trial continued, and Tom's case was gradually falling apart despite the inconsistencies in the testimonies. Yet, Oedipus didn't give up. Tom had lost faith in the justice system, and in a desperate attempt to escape, he was shot and killed. It was a tragic ending, and when this novel was published, it sparked varied opinions. Some argued that Tom's inability to win the case reflected the lasting superiority and prejudice of white people. Yet, the painful truth remained that, in this time, biases ran deep, making it incredibly difficult to shatter them. Oedipus, alone, defended Tom against these prejudices, embodying the weak voice that defies the societal norm. Even though it was a feeble effort against the prevailing bigotry, it symbolized the fight against discrimination in society. Despite how weak the voice might be, you have to rise, just as Oedipus told his daughter in the face of the final verdict. Someone in the jury recognized Tom's innocence, and it was a small step forward, even though hope was fragile, like the vanishing light, much like the buried truth. In the habitual thinking of people, we still need to fight to protect others from prejudices, and shield ourselves from the negative thoughts of those around us. While Oedipus might be gone, his courage, his integrity, has made more and more white people support him, and earned him the deep affection of black people. And you will realize that to save yourself and other mockingbirds from prejudice, the first step is to manage your own biases. Despite the external noise and commotion in the world, you must learn to close your eyes and ignore the prejudices of others towards yourself. In this world, those with less understanding tend to criticize others more, as their thoughts have become rigid over time, and they can't tolerate even the slightest difference. Those with higher awareness, however, are willing to embrace diversity, respecting the opinions and choices of others. Only then can you have a steadfast heart that remains unaffected by the surrounding biases. Internally, your soul will be calm like a river, harmoniously accommodating all differences. You won't be influenced by the words and actions of others, as someone else's biased words won't make you angry, hurt, or upset. Treat them lightly, overlook them, and let them pass, giving you more energy to focus on your own goals. As the philosopher Confucius once said, a gentleman can be broad-minded and patient with the feeble-minded, he can be generous towards the ignorant, and he can be tolerant towards those with limited understanding. So remember that by respecting and embracing differences, we can live well in this prejudiced world. The second thing we need to do is start with education. Psychologists have proven that biases are deeply embedded in our minds, influenced by our family, school, and living environment. In the book Diamond Cutter, the author pointed out that defining someone, something, or an event as good or bad is subjective and can vary from person to person. Human subjective evaluations determine whether it is positive or negative. There's a story like this: two white people take a taxi, and the driver is from Africa. The child asks, "Mom, why does the taxi driver have a different skin color?" The mother smiles and answers, "God created people with different colors to make the world colorful." After hearing this, the black taxi driver is so moved that he refuses payment from them and says, "When I was young, I asked my mother a similar question, and she said we have black skin and a low status. If she had answered like you, I might have had a different life." This is the impact of education on people. A simple way to change the way you see others is to change your perspective. Oedipus, the father in the story, calmly and patiently educated his children, helping them eliminate the negative colors and sounds from their perception. They gradually realized that differences aren't something to be feared. What's truly fearful is the prejudice and arrogance in human thinking. Within the trinity of body, speech, and mind, there's a well-known saying that ignorance is not an obstacle to survival, arrogance is. You need to know that deep within every biased thought, there might exist a belief that you are superior to others, that white people are superior to black people, that city dwellers have the right to mock the accent of those from rural areas, that those in the LGBTQ+ community are different from others, even different species. So are people distorted, or is it because you're looking at them through a distorted lens? Finally, if you want to lower your weapons, don't aim them at innocent mockingbirds. Please listen to the teachings of Oedicus the father. Reading a book is like the breath of a person. Even if you don't like it, you must do it to be able to recognize biases and change your ingrained thinking. Reading is the most effective way. Reading is a simple task, yet so many people in today's age struggle to do and sustain it. So remember, when you can't change your background and circumstances, when you can't change others, the only way to overcome the biases of that era is through reading. The philosopher Schopenhauer once said, "The obstacle does not lie in the mystery of the object, nor in the limitations of human reasoning. It lies in prejudices, in what we have accumulated from before." Read this book. The most precious thing for all of us is to accept the truth that both you and I, to some extent, have biases. Both you and I were, are, and will be mockingbirds, and we also have the potential to aim our weapons. But it's time for us to courageously use our originally beautiful conscience to protect the innocent mockingbirds. Read a lot, learn a lot, broaden your perspective, be ready to accept differences with a serene heart. As your inner self expands and your thoughts broaden, those who displease you and actions you dislike will gradually fade away. Thank you for listening. If you find this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Don't forget to contemplate the profound novel to derive your own insights and lessons. Also, please support TrueRoots by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to stay tuned for our latest weekly videos. Once again, thank you so much. See you in the next videos.